Hello everyone, my name is Roya and today I'm coming to you with the books that I read in the latter half of April. I read some really strange books, but I think I'm going to start with the least weird ones. So firstly, I read Thief Taker. This is a book that has been on my shelf for a very long time and I finally read it. This is a historical fantasy set in olden day Boston, basically, where a guy who works as a thief taker, which is basically somebody who tracks down who stole something and gets the item back, ends up having to find out who murdered somebody and stole their item. And things definitely get really weird. So this was good, but it wasn't like amazing. And it was kind of just, a lot of it was kind of just okay, but I still think it was worth the read. The Immortalists, this is about four siblings who find out from a fortune teller what day they will each die, and how those prophecies end up getting fulfilled, and that basically it is largely the fact that they know the days that makes them end up dying on those days. So this was really good in so many ways, but it is kind of just a general lit fic, so I didn't necessarily like love it. Now we're gonna get into the really weird books that I read. So firstly, we have Boring Asian Female. This is about a girl who goes absolutely off the rails when she doesn't get into Harvard Law School, and basically she just has it in her head that this girl who she considers an academic rival, who had lower scores than her and worse grades than her, who got in, basically doesn't deserve it as much. And so she thinks that she has this crazy idea that she basically took her place, which is not true. That's just not how it works. But it was just, she just is going completely insane because she didn't get into Harvard Law School. Like, there are other law schools, it's okay. But she like really thought Harvard was the absolute answer, and she just doesn't even know what to do with herself by not getting in. And just weirder and weirder stuff happens, and she thinks just the weirdest, most deranged stuff as it goes on. And it's just insane. I could barely put this book down. This is not something that I would normally have picked up, but it was kind of like, I got the sense that it was kind of exploring the tokenization of minorities and whatnot is probably where the author kind of got the idea. And so that kind of made me think I wanted to read it. So I'm really glad that I did, because it was so strange and just so weird and so gripping. I like did not even know what the heck was gonna happen in the end. Like, it was just nuts. Next we have The Traveler. This actually comes out in June. I got this copy from NetGalley, and this is about a guy who is being pulled forward through time in doubling increments. So first he basically finds himself in the same exact place, but he looks at the date and it's one day later, so he's like skipped a day of his life. Then the next day he's skipped 2 days of his life all of a sudden, then 4 days, then 8 days. And so first, the beginning of the book, he's trying to figure out what is going on. How can he stop this before he misses too much more of his child's life and his wife's life and all this stuff. And he obviously can't work anymore because he's disappearing for days at a time. And so by a fourth of the way through the book, I kept thinking, like, what more can possibly happen? This is already insane. And then before I know it, he's going forward 1,000 years and whatnot, and he's going to Mars, and he's going to the moon, and all this stuff. And so this book just kept getting crazier and crazier, and as he travels forward through time more and more, and you keep wondering what the heck is even going to happen at this point. It's my favorite read of the whole year so far. Sublimation, we have another book that comes out in June that I also got from NetGalley. This one is about basically when you leave a country permanently, you have to leave a copy of yourself behind. And that copy of yourself is basically the version of you who you would be had you stayed there, kind of. And it is crazy to think about because of course that's something that a lot of people think about all the time. So in our story, our main character is a girl who goes back to Korea for her grandfather's funeral, and her other self, who stayed in Korea, picks her up from the airport, and they're very different from each other because they've been apart for so long. Like, she was a kid when she left Korea, and so she and her other self, who stayed in Korea, are different enough from each other that they're totally not the same person anymore. So when they do in fact merge back together, the two experiences are completely like not compatible, and then they end up trying to figure out how to split back apart. So this was so good and so strange, and I really, really loved it. And lastly, space opera. This is basically a almost Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy type of book, where in just the overall tone of it. So this is about an interstellar music competition where any sentient species have to take part, and the loser gets their whole population destroyed. This book was so strange that some of the things that were happening in it, I had no idea what the heck was actually going on, and it was just really strange, but it was so good. Anyway, those are the books that I read in the latter half of April. Let me know what your thoughts are on any of these books, and I will see you very soon with a new video. Bye!